Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Long as I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a Who Dat. I'm a Who Dat. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shade for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you can probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees or Roger Goodell. Running like this, and I'm a Who Dat. Every day I'm living, I'm a Who Dat. Lose or winning, I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a Who Dat. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Good job, guys. Nice job. Hey, winning this, okay? I got tired of writing 2 scripts. I wrote 1 script. There's nothing on the back page, okay? There's only 1 for the win. Okay, effort and finish all week, guys. We talked about it all week, guys. Okay, you never know which play is going to make the difference. Okay, 5-0 turnovers. Let's start with Cam recovering a football. There we go. So Mario with a nice strip. Jonas with the recovery. Rizzy with a strip. Howard with the touchdown. Kool-Aid, where the hell are you? 2 Offensively, guys, Taysom Hill back in there for a big 19-yard completion. Sheed, big-time play, 4 catches, 114 yards, and a touchdown. Spencer Rattler, 20 for 30, 225 touchdown. Awesome job, guys.
Kellen Moore got his first win as a Saints head coach.
Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Hey, this hasn't been the easiest month. Your resiliency is showing up each and every week, okay? We got 1. Now we carry the momentum. We start stacking these, and let's get ready to roll there. Be Cook, break it down. Here we go. Yes, sir.
Keep that momentum going, fellas. This is what we're about. We come out here next week and get this dub again. Be great on 3. 1, 2, 3. Be great.
Justin's in concussion protocol. That's the only one that we'll have to navigate as the week goes. And then some of our guys coming off of injuries. Obviously, we'll see how this week progresses with some of those guys. Caesar, Dylan, and obviously Chase. So.
Mason and Foster in particular, as good as you would have hoped.
Yeah. I thought they came out pretty well. And so obviously, the more time on task, the more we'll be able to build those roles for those guys. I thought both those guys did a really good job. Obviously, limited role, just coming off of the PUP. But I thought there's a lot of positives there.
With like some young players or players that are new to you and everything, the ramp up can be a little lengthy. Is the ramp up for those guys a little faster just because of their veteran status?
Yeah, they certainly have more exposure to football, and they can lean on those experiences. And so I thought those guys were really ready. You saw it Wednesday when they got out there to practice. It just felt like they were ready to go, and they could execute at a really good level. And so, but obviously there's time that'll increase the volume for those guys, but they're in a good place.
What do you think of your congratulatory messages on the first one? Text messages,
Yeah.
emails, whatever?
Yeah. No, it's it's been a journey for our entire group, and so really excited for our guys to get the win. And certainly, shows how the NFL community is a unique community in the sense that all of us kind of share these different challenges and obstacles that we all take through an NFL season. And so it's always awesome to hear that.
What do you think of your offensive line's performance in pass pro specifically?
Yeah, 0 sacks against that group is phenomenal. I thought Kelvin and Tully playing, tackles against those premier edge rushers. I thought they just did a phenomenal job. The whole group as a core did. Eric leading the way. I thought there's so many positives there. Trevor getting back in the mix. Selly going in there and just battling every play. It's an awesome group.
Has Jonas's production so far surprised you at all, or just what he's been able to show on the back
I mean, he's a really good player. We knew that. We felt fortunate to be able to draft him. He's going to be a really good player for us for a long time. Obviously, I think his ability to get better, just really quickly has been really impressive. His ability to respond to different circumstances, different first experiences. The last couple of weeks, his ball production obviously has shown up. His ability to just be around the ball, be able to make plays on the ball. He's doing a really, really good job.
Outside of those kind of, we'll call them splash plays, but like the takeaways and things like that, what are some of maybe the finer detail things that he does that stand out to you and Brandon?
Giannis? Yeah. I think his pursuit of the football is really, really good. His space tackling, I think, shows up. There's a couple of the way they played. You're going to be in some one-on-one tackling plays out in space, and I thought he did an excellent job. I thought Alante had a couple really good ones. Kool-Aid had one on the catch-and-run opportunity, and so he's just doing a really good job. I think the more and more he's playing, the steadier he's becoming, the more consistent he's becoming, and that's an important piece of playing safety on the back end. You're tying everything together, and you got to communicate at a really high level.
What are you seeing with some of your guys' maybe issues in the red zone?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just not getting behind the sticks and playing, catch-up football down there. We're not good enough on first down. We're not efficient there. Usually most red zone studies you'll look at, when you have inefficient first downs and you kind of fall behind the sticks, it makes it really challenging. And so, I personally have to do a much better job. I got to do a bigger deep dive into that and really find ourselves better opportunities to be more successful on the early downs to put ourselves in good situations. If you're 3rd and 5 from the 5, those odds you can compete in those situations. But 3rd and goal from the 10, 11, numbers just aren't good.
Follow up on that, you guys have had a lot of long drives this season, you're leading the league in 10+ plays, drives, but to stall out there, when you have to settle for a field goal, is it discouraging? What are you going to make of it?
Yeah, ultimately you need to score touchdowns down there. Yeah, we're getting points, and that's it's kind of a fallback. You get 3 points out of the drive, but we got to get touchdowns down there.
Have you heard anything from the league yet? Clarification on the roughing the passer? No. And just when it comes to your injuries and everything, kind of is there a level of expectation or optimism around Chase Young going into this week's practice?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, today was some really good work from his standpoint. We'll see if he's available to start ramping it back up on Wednesday. And he's done a really good job. I know he wants to get out there. He's doing everything he possibly can, and so I think there's certainly some optimism there.
Is there such thing as putting in an inquiry with the league on that, or filing a complaint, or anything along those lines?
We'll just look for some feedback, just to educate ourselves better.
When it comes to just around the situation with Chase last week, we ruled him out on Wednesday.
Yeah.
What kind of changed there? I'm sorry if I've been asked before, but what kind of
From
changed
last week?
there? Yeah, last week.
To be honest, that was just me. When you go through injuries in this league, you lose the fact of the personal side of it, and you have to deal with a lot of questions, a lot of negotiations, a lot of people coming at you. Are you playing? Are you not playing? I just want to simplify it for him. Let him focus on the recovery process. Had nothing to do with a fallback or an issue in his recovery process. He's doing everything he can. I just know as a player, these guys get tired of that stuff because they're doing everything they can, and he's been phenomenal through this whole process. And I just want him to have that feeling of I don't have to play this game all the way through the week.
Does that come from your own playing experience? Just that you won this class for player.
I think you certainly understand. You lose sight of the personal side of this thing. Obviously, there's a tactical side that we're always playing the game of who's up and who's down and who's all that sort of stuff. But he's done a lot of work, and it's been challenging for him to have to go through a longer recovery process just as he go through this thing. And I just want when he's ready, he's going to be ready to rock and roll, and I have all the confidence in the world in him.
People, do you mean outside, inside the building?
No, you just got to navigate it with personal friends, family, the media component of it, just navigating that. And so I certainly knew Caesar and him wouldn't make it through the week, and so tried to simplify it for those guys.
All right. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all for being in the live, man. We up in this thing. Come on. Welcome. Now rocking with the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys, but we have intense, entertaining, educating, and enlightening sport talk from your favorite sports fam. Thank y'all for being in the live on this one, man. Monday, the Saints. It's the Saints morning, Monday after. Saints get the first win of the year. Much love to you guys. And it feels good to get a win, man. It really does, man, to be honest with you. We are getting that win. You can see I played the bit from the Saints locker room where a lot of the players were extremely happy, man. And it's good to see them happy. This is the first win after a miserable month of losing. The Saints it's a win. And that begets a lot of stuff. You can see it was good to see Kellen Moore get the game ball. It was good to see the camaraderie there. And I think it's something to build on because the defense, man, they turned it on in that second half. The Saints went, 23 unanswered? And it was basically when they started to score, everybody else did not. The they shut the Giants down for a while. The Giants had it rolling, and I got to give Staley some credit. Staley kicked it in, and next thing you know, he found the key to it, and then the Giants couldn't do anything after that. They were completely shut down. So it was good, man. It was good to see that, and good to see the guys get some camaraderie. And let's get a win. Let's just keep stacking them. Like you heard, who was that said that? Was that Spencer? Spencer said keep stacking them. And then of course you heard what Kellen Moore, the reporter, was asking about the play that was involving Carl Granderson that the officials took away. And see, that's why a lot of people just don't like the officials, because this is not a roughing the passer play. Absolutely not. He knocks him down. He didn't put any weight on him. And that dumb Fred Flintstone referee said that it was roughing the passer. Absolutely not. It was terrible. But the real injustice to it is the fact that Carl Granderson is playing so well. That was another sack that they robbed from him. And really, when you see something like this happening, you're supposed to be looking at film. If you are the NFL officiating at the headquarters, you guys are supposed to be looking at film and say, oh, that's wrong. Let's get that back to him. And it's too many cameras on the game. And I hear people say Q is a rough game. Miss me with all that. These guys make mistakes, but at the same time, there are so many cameras there. If the NFL is really serious about reversing the game, the sack, giving Carl Grandin the sack back is real, because they don't know what they're doing. They just make up the rules as they go. I can't believe him with a straight face called this one. And maybe we could have something where we can challenge this sort of stuff in the future, like take another look at it again and force them. They don't want to slow the game down. But yeah, that's egregious right there. It's egregious because Carl Granderson, it would put him in, some company here. It would have put Carl up there with some of these other guys here. Carl would have been up there. I think he has 3.5. That would have made 4.5. That would have put Carl Granderson up there. I want to see what he has. Let me look it up. Y'all put it in the chat. Yeah, he got 4.5. He got 4.5. He gets that sack there, man. That puts him, he's the league leader in sacks right now. That's pretty good for Carl Granderson, but that's all right. We'll get it back. We'll get our lick back. All right. Yeah, Derek says 4.5. Yeah, we'll get our lick back. We'll get it back. That was not even close to what it is. And like Kellen Moore said, man, he want clarification. You won't get any clarification because they don't know what they're doing. That's not a roughing the passer. You can't hit these guys. Just put a vest on them and say you can't hit them. You just got to smack them or touch him so he'll be down. Just say that. That's crazy talk, man, how these people do. Anyway, man, big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all being in the stream. Much love to you guys. I see you all. M. Dot, I see you, brother. Appreciate you as well. St. Doug, OG Jerry's in the building. Big ups to you, brother T. Clint, Gregory. What's up, bro? Good to see you in the building as well. Michael Taylor. All right, I see you, fam. Be great, Josh. Big ups to you, fam. Appreciate you for being in the stream. All right. Yeah, you see the people. Yeah, I've been seeing the trade rumors, fam. I've been seeing the trade rumors. What's up, Young City 9? Big ups to you, fam. Young City 9 in the building. All right, Brute Saint. What's up, bro? Says, hey, happy to see Kellen get the game ball and happy for our guys to get this win. The culture is coming together. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you that, man. Appreciate you. Yeah, man. I just think it's a good thing, man, to see the Saints pick up a win after a tough month of football, man. They got to the cusp a couple of times, but simply couldn't get over the line. But they got it this time, man. What's up, M. Dot? Derek White, big ups to you, fam. Bronze, thank you, sir. Appreciate you as well for being a member for 21 months. Much love to you, bro. Appreciate you there. All right, Sugar and Spice says, okay, coach, keep everyone that played yesterday on the go. Same group. Thank you. All right. All right, big ups to you, man. What's up, 504 Cole? How you doing? Says Q. The O-line look great. Simpkins is a stud. Caesar, chicken salad, Rui. I can't do that, bro. The man hurt. The man hurt, bro. You can't be calling him. You can't call a man chicken salad Ruiz right now, bro. The man is he's sitting up there. He hurt, bro. So he can't. You can't call him chicken salad Ruiz, bro. He man is currently hurting right now, bro. So and I know a lot of people don't give a damn. I hear you on that, but Ruiz is hurt right now, bro. So we gotta. But yeah, you're right on the Simpkins thing, man. Yeah, Torricelli Simpkins is doing a phenomenal job. Now it's growth there, right? He's an undrafted guy with a lot of potential, and it's a lot of positivity right there. He keeps playing like this. It's going to be a difficult decision with Cesar Ruiz coming back because ultimately he'll be out for a few, but when he gets back, it's going to be a rust factor as well. And if he'd have kept playing like that, man, and kept putting together rusty tape, sooner or later they would have probably end up pulling him. And you really have to look at it. Torricelli Simpkins, the way he's playing, he is definitely demanding a spot at one of those guard positions. But Penning did some positive stuff too the other day, fam. So not bad. All right. Anyway, St. Doug, big ups to you once again, man. Thank y'all. Bullet Family travel vlog. Brother Gundam, big ups to you, bro. Good to see you in the building as well. Much love. He said, what's up with Groupie? Said, yeah, I know what was Groupie yesterday? Was it 6? 4 of 6 yesterday? Was it 4 of 6? Whatever it was. Yeah, he missed 2 field goals the other day, and people had it misconstrued. He didn't miss field goals every week. He didn't miss them. There was actually a break. Of course, not last game, but the game prior to the Giants matchup, he didn't miss any field goals. He actually hit his field goal. So it was a break, or it wasn't consistent. In other words, he did have a game where he didn't miss any field goals. So yeah, but he's been struggling, man. He has been struggling. And Kellen Moore seems to be rocking with him. They seem to be like, yeah, you still the guy, this kind of thing. So, I mean, you just want to make sure, and you think and you hope, I ain't like saying it, but you would want him to kind of iron that stuff out and get it together and move forward. But as it stands, we just got to do better in that department, man. Special teams overall, man, we really need, our special team stuff needs to step up and get a lot more solid, if you know what I mean. Thank you, Gundam. Steel Bill, what's up, bro? Appreciate you as well. Yeah, and Black Major, shout out to you, brother. Good to see you in the building as well. Much love to everybody. Brother Gregory, thank you, sir. 4.5. Jack says to show the game. He says, slow the game down. Why not get rid of the commercial breaks and dedicate them to the flat? Yes, indeed. You can't touch the quarterback, man. It's a sad thing. What's up, Jaden? Shout out to you, man. Doing the Pelicans post-game report tonight. Yeah, we more than likely is going to be DC and Lex, and I'll chime in after the fact. What's up, ZZ? Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you for being here. All right. Yeah, Q Dust Kool-Aid get us. Yeah, yes. Yeah, I think he does. I think he does. But see, it's the thing. Yeah, people say, Q, you heard that shit, right? Well, I mean, listen, man. People telling the truth, man. They're telling the truth. The first several weeks of the season, he wasn't playing like Kool-Aid McKinstry. He was playing like Crystal Light McKinstry. But this game, he played like Kool-Aid McKinstry. He was getting burnt. He was out of position. He was missing tackles. Yeah. So he earned that Crystal Light tag. But nah, man, he's Kool-Aid now. That's what we expect out of Kool-Aid. He don't have to be perfect, but goddamn, the way he was getting fricasseed the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season, that's not a good look, for our phenomenal young cornerback. We got to clean that up. All right. Anyway. Yeah. Yes. All right. Yes. Oh, okay. M. Dot. Come on, bro. He said spoiled chicken. Said, oh, come on, brother. Come on. The man is hurt right now, brother. Let's have a little a little empathy for the brother right now. He is sitting up on the he ain't on the IR, but he's supposed to be coming back a lot faster. He got a positive medical, which they thought about putting him on the IR for a certain period of time, but he's progressing well according to reports and could very well be in position to make to come back sooner than what we anticipate. So don't put that chicken salad, don't take it out the refrigerator just yet. All right. All right. All right. Bullet says, do you think Kellen sees a lot of himself in these players like Blake? I think he does, man. It's a learning curve everybody is dealing with. I think Kellen's going to be patient. As you can see, he's a good dude. He's not one of these guys to wag his finger, all this kind of stuff. He's a guy, he's going to be patient because he's new. He don't really know everything that's going on. So he's kind of playing it by ear. And so he's going to be patient with some of these players, and he's hoping that some of these players be patient with him, as he kind of gets his stuff together. So yes, indeed. All right. M. Dot says, oh, come on. Tapwater McKinstry, bro. Come on. I don't know about that, man. Yeah, the crystal lights sound good. I got to give it to that's Brother Robert came up with that one. What's up, Desi? Shout out to you, Snake Bite, Dre Day. What's up, fam? So yeah. We'll see. What's up, Robert? Shout out to you. If Ruiz comes back, we're screwed. I don't know, Robert. We'll see, man. We'll see. All right. Yeah, that's right. Robert said, hold cool. You got to hold them accountable, bro. It wouldn't be fair and it wouldn't be right. You can't swing it like some of these guys, do. I understand some of the reporters do because, they don't want a situation where the player reads something they write that was not flattering, and sometimes the players don't take that to shine. That's almost like what we seen. It makes for good video though. That's almost what happened with your boy and Michael Thomas. Y'all remember that when Michael Thomas says he was asking questions, he was like, "You the one be writing that mess." Y'all remember that? He's like, "Yeah, you the one that be writing that mess." He knew just who he was. And like some of these people talking that crap, saying, "Oh man, we don't read none of that stuff. We don't read." Man, what are you talking about? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. They read all of it. That's what I was saying. There was like Zion said that some time ago that they don't read none. I was like, yeah, you do. What are you talking about? You read it. Yes, you do. Unless you live under a rock somewhere, you're going to hear what they're saying and you're supposed to. Some of the stuff, not all of it, but a great deal of it is actually stuff that you can use to improve yourself if you're not so thin-skinned. If you're not thin-skinned, you can learn something from what they're saying. Because a lot of people saying, most of the times they're looking at technique. Like if you look at a guy like Pennon or Cesar Ruiz and you look at the tape and you'll see that his footwork is bad at times. And, his leverage is not there. Sometimes he's falling forward, this type of stuff. Just inconsistent. That is not bad information or wrong information or whatever you want to call it about the player is actually the truth. If you study the tape, but if you're not thin-skinned, you can actually listen and pick up your game. But it's fair when you say what they're doing, right? And, both sides of the coin. Like, we're not going to paint an image like, well, the guy was stinking it up. And you still paint it like he's playing wonderful, or you simply do not talk about him at all. And, it's fair when you just talk about this, call it as it is. You can't get any fair. If the guy is out there, having a bad game, call it as what it is. And that's what I do. I'm like, man, yeah, I like several of these players on the Saints team. I really do. But that don't stop me from calling them out. That don't stop me from calling them out because that's what you're supposed to do. That means I am unbiased. I will call your ass out. That's what I'm supposed to do. All right. Anyway, man, big ups to y'all. Appreciate y'all for being in the live, man. Y'all do me a service as we get going and hit that like button and the share button, man. We're going to get into some of this stuff today. I'm going to try not to hold you too long today, but after the Saints Monday after they get their first win, it was a great article right here. This is two articles right here. John Sigler wrote from the Saints Wire, which was pretty good, about the Saints. 5 consecutive takeaways from versus the Giants were the most since the Dome Patrol days. Did y'all guys know that? I knew it was a lot. I knew it was a record. I heard it was a record. You know, and I was like, wow, that is big. Anytime the Saints, the current Saints, could link back to the most iconic defense, the best defense in NFL history in some form or fashion, that is a huge win. That is great power and just greatness, tapping into greatness right there when you can develop 5 turnovers in a game. Now, we should have blew this team out, but it's okay. The defense did its thing. You know, they was a little stank and rusty early on, but they switched in. They kicked in with the adjustments. They shut the Giants off, couldn't score. They took the ball away, forced them to fumble. One of them, they just gave the ball up, scared him with the ball, scared it out of his damn hands. So, I mean, it just fell right for the Saints. Really good. And they were there, and they just didn't give up defensively. And like I said, there's a few things to talk about on the opposite side that Coach Moore would ultimately, after the win, will then fixate in, like he today talked about things that they need to clean up going into the next matchup against the Patriots, who turned around and beat the Buffalo Bills. Did y'all know that? The Patriots turned around. They actually beat the Buffalo Bills. I had that as a loss for them. But just like they say in the NFL, man, you know, it's the NFL is any given Sunday. Any given Sunday. I was not expecting that to happen. I wasn't expecting the Patriots, but they beat them by a field goal, 23-20. But they were competitive. They were very competitive in that game, man. They were very competitive in that game. So that was actually pretty good for them. And now, you know, that they beat the Bills and they come into it with some confidence for the Saints. So this should be an interesting game. I kind of thought, I was like, man, this is going to be interesting for Sunday, man. But we'll have more of that as time moves. But anyway, man, let's jump right into this article right here. Shout out to John Sigler, the Saints Wire. Great article right here. That's not impressive. He says that's impressive. The Saints defense took the ball away from the Giants on offense 5 consecutive possessions. That is phenomenal. You know, and fam, that is incredibly difficult to do. The Saints did it, but this is the thing, that how often you see a team take the ball away 5 straight times. You know, we watched something that was really awesome when we seen the Saints just competitively, consistently, every drive after drive, just take the ball away from these folks. That was phenomenal, man. You know, I don't know if you'll ever see that again soon. You know, that's very rare. But 5 consecutive takeaways, man. That happened since 2016, right? And of course, the crazy part is the Saints beat the Giants. And if you go back to the last time the Saints won a game that counted, it was against the Giants last year. That's what I call full coverage, baby. That's full coverage. All right. Anyway, Saints themselves, you have to go back a little further than you think. The last time they managed this feat, 5 straight takeaways, was a year away from being born. Old school Saints family members remember the Dome Patrol defense well, and this is the kind of performance they almost made routine. The all-star unit led by Pro Football Hall of Famer Ricky Jackson and Sam Mills, and their Pro Bowl teammates Pat Swilling and Vaughn Johnson managed to do twice. The first time was the 13-6 slobber knocker game between the Saints and the Eagles, in which the Eagles were intercepted 5 times, fumbling 6 times, one recovered by Ricky Jackson, and they took 6 sacks. It was far from a clean game with 2 interceptions and 2 sacks of their own. Offense did a better job of capitalizing on the turnovers the second time, beating the Phoenix Cardinals 27-3. They had 5 interceptions that game too, along with 2 fumbles, recovering both of them and 2 sacks. Crazy work right here. What about this time? The Saints powered their way to victory with 2 interceptions by Kool-Aid McKinstry, plus 3 fumbles recovered by Jonas Sanker, Jordan Howden, and Cam Jordan, with Brian Bresee and Demario Davis punching 2 of them out. We know they weren't going to have the kind of production every week. It's still worth celebrating, and it's something they can build off. Nobody can live up to that all-time great standard that the Dome Patrol set for themselves, but there's nothing wrong with chasing it. Sometimes you just might meet it. Yeah, this was awesome, man, to watch what we've seen with the 5 consecutive takeaways and made this. And maybe this will be a jump off point for the Saints defense to be able to then turn and kind of say, hey, man, we playing with this energy. We're in the dome. We got to win. And it's something about those wins. Wins are magical, man. You tried, you were at the cusp on a couple of these games. You kept shooting yourself in the foot, and the Saints they didn't make it out barely. They actually took possession of the game and literally half the game just dominated the Giants. It should have been a complete blowout in terms of them at least converting a few more of those turnovers into touchdowns. Had we done that, it'd have been something else, even more momentum rolling into the next matchup. But it was phenomenal, man. And credit to Coach Staley for doing it. He made the adjustments because, my goodness, they didn't look like much or nothing early on. The guys were just marching the ball down the field. He had 1 or 2 completions. It was just pitch and catch, and then they turned it on. So hopefully that was a sea change moment in the defense, and maybe we could kind of take this positive energy here and turn it into something going in the rest of the season, right? All right, anyway, let's keep it going and move on to the next article right here. Shout out to my boy Bob Rose over there, man. Much love to brother Bob. The good, bad, and the ugly from the Saints win, the first win of the year. So this is a big one here. First time in the last 8 regular season games. Wow. The Saints emerged victorious after a 26-14 win against the Giants. It was the first win since the Saints December the 8th win over the same Giants. The Saints improved their record to 1-4, dropping New York to the same mark in the process while earning the first win in the head coach Kellen Moore's career. New Orleans got off the game, got the game off to a kind of a rough start. The Saints elected to take the ball after winning the coin toss, but did nothing. On the other hand, the Giants tore easily through the Saints defense for the touchdown on the first couple of possessions after that. However, the Saints settled down and kept pace offensively and took advantage of opportunities. The defense eventually pulled their way. As with any game, the ebbs and flows. And here's the good, the bad, and ugly of what happened in the Saints' victory. Okay, the good, the Saints secondary. Kool-Aid McKinstry takes his tag back. He is Kool-Aid now. The 3-headed player of the game award needs to be divided between defensive backs Kool-Aid McKinstry, Jonas Sanker, and Jordan Howden, all young ballers. Remember that Justin Reed had a concussion. He got knocked out of the game. Jonas, of course, came in the game early in the year because of the injury to veteran Julius Blackmon. So with Jonas in there, and Jordan Howden was another guy that we drafted a couple years ago to be the future after safety position. Those injuries hit, so our young players got involved. Kool-Aid, Jonas, and Jordan Howden, those guys were big. However, it should be noted that the entire Saints secondary was the best unit on the field on both sides. Wide receiver Wendell Robinson and Darius Slayton made little impact in the game, catching a combined 8 balls for 61 yards. The Saints did an outstanding job of blanketing the wideouts, often leaving Giants quarterback Jackson Dart with nowhere to go with the ball. They definitely got better as the game went on. And no doubt about that. I mean, no doubt about that. As the game started to progress, because Jordan Howden came in, he made some plays. But Kool-Aid, man, outside of the interceptions and the tackles he was making, the return that, Sanker had when he ran it all the way back, it was Kool-Aid McKinstry that was out front. Well, not out front. He was running behind, he was running behind him to stop because they had a guy chasing them down. And Kool-Aid ran up there and blocked the guy, kind of got in his way to stop him so that the guy can get the fumble return. Jonas can get in there with the touchdown. So Kool-Aid was flashing. I was looking at the tape. I was like, man, that's Kool-Aid running down. He ran down there and got in the head because the guy would have caught him. But he ran down there, got in the way of the guy so Sanker could get in there and get was it Jordan Howden? Oh, it was Howden? Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Jordan Howden. There you go. Yeah, he kind of got down there and got in his way. So it was very positive, man, to see that anyway. All right, anyway, let's keep it going here. The Saints did an outstanding job blanking those wideouts. All right, make no mistake, through the stars of the games, McKinstry, Sanker, and Howden. McKinstry had 2 picks. The first 2 of his 2-year career, and looked like a top-tier corner over the Saints division. But Sanker built on strong outing against the Bills last week with an even better performance. He had 2 critical pass breakups, also returned a punt, a fumble, recovery all the way in for a touchdown. So he had 2 crucial breakups and also returned a second quarter fumble forced by Demario Davis, 30 yards, set up a go-ahead field goal. However, Howden came in and injured. Often Reed responded with 5 nice breakups while capping off a great day by the secondary with an 86-yard touchdown return fumble recovery. So Howden did the 86-yard touchdown return off the fumble there, which was really good. And Kool-Aid was able to get there and kind of get in the guy's way and make it play. And Jonas Sanker also did a recovery as well. So they was just doing a lot of great. There's a lot of turnovers. I'm kind of getting them mixed up here, so forgive me on that. But it's been a tough start to the year for the Saints defensive backs, but the performance against the Giants highlighted the young group's playmaking abilities that could be a big asset going forward. So yes, indeed, was very positive to watch the Saints secondary do what they did, and that speaks volumes. Sanker, Jordan Howden, and Kool-Aid McKinstry, those guys were really big. Also some more good, Spencer Rattler and the wideouts. Give Spencer some love, fam. Give him some love. All right, Spencer Rattler and his wideouts. Rattler got his first win after an 0-10 start, and Spencer Rattler handled it like a G. I'm just going to give him some credit because he's consistent. There's one thing you could talk about with Spencer Rattler. You got to give him love about his level of consistency, his temperament. He's not up. He's not down. He's right here all the time, right here in the middle, not up, not down, right in the middle. And, getting that first win, he handled it like a G, man. I got to give it to Spencer Rattler, man. He's been handling the losses too, all that kind of stuff, and hearing all that. He's been handling all of that talk about, 0-10 and all that. He's handled it very well and professional. Got to give it to the man for that. All right. So Rattler got his first win, 0-2 start to his career, also becoming the first quarterback drafted by the Saints to earn a win since Danny Awful Waffle back in 1998. That is a crazy stat. That is crazy. That is crazy. Absolutely crazy. That's an insane stat that Rattler is the first guy. He's the first guy, the first one to get a win for the Saints since 1998. That can't be right. The first quarterback drafted by the Saints to get a win. That can't be right either, but it is. That's crazy. So the first Saints quarterback drafted to get a win since Danny Waffle in 1998. That is terrible. That's terrible. Thanks a lot, Mickey. Thanks a lot. Rattler played pretty well, completing 21 of 31 throws, 225 yards, a touchdown, no turnovers or sacks. Most importantly, he and his receivers made plays down the field for the first time this year. Rattler hit Rashid Shaheed for 87-yard strike that seemed to change the momentum of the game in the first half. He also hit 3 crucial intermediate throws in the second half to Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave, and Devon Valley to keep the drives alive. The Saints passing game has received deserved criticism, but on this day, Rattler and the wideouts quieted those criticisms. Shaheed had 4 catches for a game-high 114 yards, while Olave pulled in a game-high 7 catches for 59 yards. New Orleans still needs to create more yards after the catch, and Rattler must pull the ball in better spots or put it in better spots more consistently. On this day, New Orleans' passing game appeared to take steps in the right direction with its best outing of the season. Indeed, give Rattler some love, man, because not only Rattler too, but it's been tough, man. They hadn't been able to find each other out there on the field consistently, and the Saints have not. They've been very lacking in the explosive departments, but that 87-yard touchdown strike, the Rashid Shaheed broke open. It broke the doors open, and it just was good. And I was like, that's what we've been talking about. That's what we want to see. We want to see Rashid, fastest guy out there, Let's get the ball out there and take the tops off these defense, stretch them out so we can be able to run the ball, this sort of thing. It was good seeing that explosive 87-yard strike. And I want to see more of that because we got that. We got the ability to do that. All right, so anyway, here's the bad, fam. The bad. Saints run defense. The Saints run defense, no surprise there, for the second straight week. And the third time in 5 games, the Saints run defense played poorly. The Giants ran for 136 yards while averaging almost 5 yards a carry. That total would have easily been a lot more if the Giants wasn't trailing by 2 scores and had to throw their last few drives. Jackson Dart himself rushed for 55 yards, with most of them coming on scrambles and on passing plays, but some of them were design runs. The rookie running back Cam Scatterbo had a game-high 59 rushing yards. That doesn't seem like a big total, but Scatterbo carried New York on a few of the drives when the Saints were unable to stop him. Only 3 fumbles, one of each on Dart and Scatterbo, stopped the Giants on run-heavy marches. Granted, Brian Bresee had a beautiful strip of Scatterbo inside the Saints' 10-yard line, resulting in Howden's touchdown return. Still, this more resembled the Saints' defense from a year ago that was helpless against running plays. So this is truly something else to kind of talk about. The good. We had 2 goods. Now we have this one. But he's right. The Saints' run defense is not through 5 weeks. I think we have enough tape. We have seen enough to say that the Saints' defense is ghastly. I mean, run defense is ghastly, to say the least. To be honest, it was horrible. And it was a point in the game where y'all literally see Cam Scatterbo, the rookie. They just gave it to him, and he was able to get yardage right up the center of the Saints defense. And if we're gonna they have some kind of way, that's going to have to change. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if they, you might want to bring somebody in. I don't know. Whatever Coach Staley's going to do, he's got to do it to stop them from running. It's too easy to run on the Saints. It really is. It's too easy to run the football against them. I remember it was possessions where I seen them running 2 and 3 times in a row, and it didn't matter if it's Scatterbo or Singletary. They were able to get yards on the inside, and something has to be done by that. They most certainly got to do that, because that's not going to help you winning the games, letting people run on you that good. And of course, the special teams, right? The special teams isn't that is aptly termed. Botched kickoff return by Velus resulted in an awful starting field position on 2 early New Orleans drives. 2 more missed field goals by Blake Grupe, albeit one over 50 yards, kept the score fairly close down the stretch. Kickoff return coverage again allowed 2 long returns to give the Giants excellent field position to start a drive. Another New York drive started in very good position after an awful Kai Kroger punt late in the 4th quarter. New Orleans special team squad that was annually among the NFL's best for several years has plummeted to the worst in the league. And that's also something to talk about, even though, Blake Grupe hit way more than he missed, but still in all, Grupe is missing too many field goals. This is a lot of field goals this guy is missing. He missed 2 this game. And what was it? He's missed what? Is it 5 field goals? Let me see if I can. It's a lot going on here. And people might tell you some BS about it being these field goals are not hurting the team. Man, you get the hell out of here with that. A kicker is not supposed to miss that many field goals, and we're only in week 5. That guy missing more field goals than we done played in weeks. Come on. That's not acceptable. Let me see if I can pull him up here. Yeah, he's 4 for 6. Well, no, that was in the game. 4 for 6. What is he on the season, right? Hold on, let me see. Blake Grupe. So far, it's 10 for 5. He's 10. Is he 10 for 5? Is that right? 10 for 15? It's saying 10 of 15, 38 point. Man, 10 for 15. That's a lot. That's a lot of missed field goals, man, in 5 weeks. That's a lot of 5 missed field goals is a lot of missed field goals in 5 weeks. That averages out a missed field goal a week. Yeah, he has to clean that up, man. And it's not like he's not kicking 50-yard field goals consistently, man. Some of these field goals he missed was shots like a 37-yarder and stuff that he's supposed to kind of hit on. Didn't he miss a few of them in the dome with no weather conditions? How you missing field goals in the dome in your own building? So yeah, that has to be fixed. Man, you can't cut that no other way. The Saints got to do a much better job. The kick return, the punt return, the coverage teams. He's right about Kai Kroger, who's an inexperienced punter, but still learning. But Blake, man, is missed. He missing too many field goals here, bro. I know Kellen's going to be patient with him, but that's up to a point, man. He keeps doing that. They're going to be guys in here trying out for the job. I promise you that much. All right, the ugly, the Saints pass rush. How about this one? It's a good thing New Orleans got excellent play from the secondary because they got no help whatsoever from an invisible pass rush against the New York line that allowed 13 sacks and over 30 QB hits in the first 4 games. Saints got no disruption at all. Dart had enough time to write a book, then read it when he dropped back the pass. Thankfully, the Saints were stout in coverage, and Dart often had nowhere to throw. It wasn't until late in the game that Cam and Curl mustered some pass rush outside of a ridiculous rough outing, a roughing call against Granderson that nullified a sack. Dart was still rarely even touched or hurried. Despite the flawed performance in some areas, the most important thing was the Saints finally recorded that win. Nearly important was the way they did it, with turnovers from the secondary and big plays from the offense that we've seen little of during the first month of the season. Perhaps a sign that the Saints have turned the corner and are ready to build some momentum. I would really want the Saints, and I think that this win is a magical win because the Saints have been right at the door fighting, for the last, except for the game against the Seattle Seahawks. They didn't show up at all for that game. But the rest of these games, you can rightfully say that the rest of these Saints games, the losses that they had outside the Seattle game, that those were things they were supposed to win. We talking about them having 13 penalties in one of these games. And, they just had to get over all of the nonsense and feel a win. It's got to help them, man. To feel the win, like, man, we finally got a win. After all of the stuff falling short, finally getting a win. And I think that will help them psychologically as well as spiritually, man, as a team, because getting a win right there, saying, man, hey, man, that gives you some confidence. Let's get some more. Winning is addictive. And I think hopefully the Saints get addicted to winning and not anything that's negative, man. So good outing by the black and gold, a very good outing. I'm very proud of them. That defense, 5 turnovers, man. My goodness, the young players, it was very positive. Our young secondary players and guys stepped up and got and just solidified and crystallized in the back end of the game. We was able to get it. So that's big. All right. Anyway, fam, that's what I got for y'all. Listen, y'all got any questions, please feel free to throw them in the chat. I wasn't going to do a long show today. I'm going to go over a few comments from you guys and then skedaddle. All right, big ups to you guys. What's up, brother Hakeem? Shout out to my brother Hakeem. He says, gotta keep running the ball. The O-line the last 2 weeks looking like they're a cohesive unit. Rattler has been protected well, and they're running the ball effectively. Yes, indeed, bro. I thought we should have got a little bit more against this. This Giant team was not very good statistically against the run, but they actually did a really good job against us. If you think about it, like they were considered one of, not the worst, because we know we went up against the Bills and their run defense was the absolute worst. But actually the Bills were, up there at the stink factory too. But you look how the Saints, we weren't able to get the kind of running attack that we really wanted to get off against them. Like we put up a buck 89 against the Bills. And we thought that we could possibly do that against the Giants. Giants says, I ain't gonna let you do that to us. We got pride about ourselves. But that's the thing. Returning back to the running attack, the balance and getting downfield. I think the explosive plays on their way, them wins really help, man. Like I said, we got to do a little better. We had 88 yards this game, but building on it, just building and stacking, man. That's what we got to do. Win, learn and win. Learn and win. That's what we need to do and keep doing it. Derek says, Aaron Brooks, came to Green Bay, Breeze to San Diego. Y'all talking. That said the goals to show you how awful they have been in drafting. Yeah. You're talking about the first Saints drafted quarterback to get a win was in all that time since 1998 was Spencer Rattler. Since 98, family, all the people drafted, we talking about Grayson, Ian Book. I mean, boy, we had some quarterbacks like, we took the last 3 years we drafted. I mean, but they've had some quarterbacks the Saints have taken over time. But that stat right there, I was like, man, that's crazy work. That's the craziest stat of the week, in my opinion. That the first Saints, well, I ain't gonna say Spencer's the first quarterback since 1998, the first Saints drafted quarterback since 1998 to win a game for him. Drafted quarterback. That is crazy. And Mickey Lumen need to be kicked all up in his ass for that. It take a foot to make it backside, man, for that terrible stat. Good Lord. That's horrible. KT, shout out to you, says 7 catches, 59 yards. I bet y'all anything alive he's going to want. A little stat packing right there. But hey, man, he's wherever they throwing him to, KT, he catching them. You see, it's this intermediate stuff. Wherever he's throwing Olave's the ball, he's catching the ball. Intermediate stuff close to the sideline while he got, you see what I'm saying? He's catching the football. And it's, we gotta get him upfield because he can run too. But we got to get him upfield. We got to stretch that field. Hakeem says it's not going to be a lit 300-yard playing because of the balance offensive structure in fact, it's a league-wide thing. All right. Thank you, Brother Hakeem. All right. Much love. All right. Brother Derek says DeMario hit like a girl. Now we need to he did good. No, don't do that to DeMario, bro. DeMario getting old, but he can still play, bro. He can still play. He ain't as he athletically, vertically, in terms of him, moving around, he can't he ain't got the speed he used to have. But like I said, he missed a lot of tackles. It was one game where I seen him on the same drive miss 3 tackles. He missed 3 tackles on the same drive. I was like, what's wrong with DeMario Davis? What's going on here? I mean, he gets there. It's like they called the play. He gets there and he can't make the tackle. Like one drive, he missed like 3 tackles. It was during the Buffalo game. One drive, like, damn, how you miss 3? But yeah, man, it's what it is. Is 504 says, can somebody put a APB out on Brandon? Because he's out there, bro. He's out there. He made a couple of catches and all this kind of stuff, but this is supposed to be the fast offense, but it's like we more east to west than north to south. We need to turn it up. We need to go north to south with this offense. That's what we need to do. We east west in them too much. You got guys in intermediates with crossers and slants and all this. We need to get vertical more, man. And I don't think we're going to be able to do that unless we can be able to start effectively running the ball. So there you go. We got to effectively start running the ball so we can get up there, because ain't no need for them to be worrying about stopping you from running the ball. If they putting 4 guys up there and occasionally puts a 5 guy there and they dropping everybody back and keeping you out, keeping you, up front here to work the center, they ain't scared of you running the ball. We're not putting the fear in anybody because we're simply not running. We're not running the ball outside of the Buffalo game. We're not consistently running the ball where we're scaring anybody. And until we get there, I think, we might be limited with that. So we got to work that up front. We got to get the ball going, man. I guarantee you, fam. I guarantee you that. Like Justin Wilson used to say, I guarantee that once you start running that football, man, that safety dropping down there, and it's one-on-one city the whole damn way. It's as easy as night and day. If you can't stop them from running the ball, they're going to send They're going to send extra help down there. And then that's when we're going to get those matchups, so we'll see how it all works, man. We'll be all right. We got no choice. Gundam says, I thought Devon Gacho would be the X Factor. Is unimpressive and ineffective. Yeah, he is. He ain't looking too good, man. Right now, Uh, and Nate Shepard's another dude. You talking about Devon Gacho if he ain't looking that good, because you watch the film, he's getting double teamed down. I just thought we should have switched up on Shepard. If I had my choice to keep either Bink or Shepard, I would have kept Bink. I thought Shepard should have. I thought he should have been on the first thing smoking. Bink. I thought Big Bink Saunders is better than Nate Shepard. You know, I guess they got better trade value on Bink than they did Shepard, but I thought he was supposed to be going. I thought we was bringing these other guys in here to giving them an opportunity to play. I thought that's why we traded multiple picks for when we got it back, but we traded to get John Ridgeway III, this big old 6'5", 300-pound plus guy. He was hurt. I think he made it back. He was inactive this past game. But you do have help. Christian Boyd is ready. He's been doing some positive stuff. Jonathan Bullett's been out there. You've seen Jonathan Bullitt. We know Vernon Brockton's hurt. But you know, we need to see something. We need to see somebody else out there doing stuff. We got guys. I don't know. They might have to shake it up, do something different. But we can't keep having them run on us like this. Indeed. All right, Willie says put Charlie Smith out there. I don't think Charlie Smith can kick the hell out of the ball, but I don't think he'll beat Blake Grupe in the kicking contest. 504 Coach says O-line looks completely different without Cesar Ruiz. Yeah, Cesar was Bob and others consider him the weak link. He's incredibly inconsistent with a lot of his stuff. And you see Torricelli Simpkins in there. He made some mistakes, but it's forgivable stuff because he's an undrafted rookie. But you can see the potential's there because he's actually, you can see him really putting a full out effort. I think people are less patient with Cesar Ruiz because he's been here for 6 years or whatever it is. And he's played a lot of games. He's played a lot of reps for the Saints in live games. And he's supposed to be a lot better than what he is. And people saying he's regressing. I'm like, he ain't regressing. That is who he is. You ain't been paying attention to him. You just hadn't paid attention to him. Right? All right, Gundam says, won't happen this year, Q. Saints org doesn't move with a purpose, operational priorities, and addressing personnel, not cutting it. Thank you, bro. Shout out to you as well. All right. What's up, GM Kev? Shout out to my brother, GM Kev. All right. Yes, indeed. Saints Doug says, if a field goal cab win the game, win the game, I'm comfortable with Group A being the guy. Thank you, bro. Hakeem says, got to keep Drake May inside the pocket this week. Bracket Stephon Diggs, yes. Somehow contain Stevenson and Henderson in the run game. Patriots offense is sneaky good. They got players. I think they needed somebody that was competent right there because they have some players, man. They didn't draft terribly. They just needed leadership at the top. And you got the guy that used to be the head coach of where he came from, Tennessee. He's there now. Was a great linebacker for the Patriots too. So this is a guy that comes back here. He knows the Patriot way, so to speak. He's respected there, and he knows football. So the man he got a good running attack there. He got some weapons around there, and yeah, the Patriots are feeling pretty good about themselves. They knocked off the Buffalo Bills. Fam, that's a big win for them. They beat them by 3, but that's a big win for the New England Patriots in the NFC East. That's a big win for them. So they're really feeling pretty good about getting that win, man. They really are. So yeah, they're coming here in the Dome. The Saints are going to have another one of those defensive performances where we have to kind of force the turnovers. We're going to have to actually get to Drake May and make some plays, but we'll talk about all that in the preview later on in the week. But yeah, you're absolutely right, bro. Hemisphere says, Q, I heard a content creator says Kellen Moore wakes up late to get in the building during the Seahawk week. Kellen took the team on the boat ride. And Kellen's still young, man. Yeah, he's still gelling with his team, man. And he's young. He's just having fun with it. And he ain't one of these guys, that beat you to death with football. He wanted to teach you some football. Yeah, play football. But when we're not talking about football, let's go out and fish. Let's go out and go eat at the restaurant. Let's go shoot some hoops, stuff like that. He knows he's a football coach, but he's also a person too. He don't bludgeon you or beat you to death with football, right? He teach you the game, but then have time to do other stuff, team building, exercise outside of just the football stuff, which is commendable. We'll see if it works. It must have worked. It didn't work for the Seattle game, but but it did help us get the win against the Giants, right? They were really happy to give him that game ball. You can see they were really happy to see him get his first win. St. Doug said, "Oh Lord, don't mention Jared Cook." Where? Oh no, don't even talk about Jared Cook. Yeah, all right. Fabrico says time for DeMario to open up his church Q football career done. Yeah, DeMario. Yeah, he intelligence wise is very good, but he's old. This is his last year, and he's not as fast as he used to be. You can see on film that he sees stuff, and you can see him on film. Like he'll see the opening and the running back, like he'll see it and he'll shoot the gap. He'll get there and miss the play, And as he's gotten over the last couple of years, he's been missing tackles. But when you're losing and you're 0-4, you want to see on that third down, that guy makes that tackle. You got to make that third down tackle, and it's just one of those things, man, where we, those things stick out more glaringly when you don't have a win, people are less forgiving for you. If you're out there losing, you're 0-4 and you're missing tackles. They're not going to be very happy with you, and they shouldn't. All right, Gundam says agent body Q. DeMario starting to feel that. Yeah, but that is still a testament to his conditioning, because he's gotten this whole way before we really start seeing it. And it took a defensive shift because the defense is designed in Staley's mind to be a faster defense. We got guys that's not that athletically gifted. Some of the backup guys are better athletes than our starters. But, guys like Jalen Ford and Isaiah Stallworth, those guys are there athletically speaking. So, one can only imagine how it looks as we get further into the season, how that effect will even have any, roll out over DeMario and Pete Werner. Those, and Pete's younger, but he's a guy that's been staying healthy as of late, as opposed to what we remember. KT says Q 5 weeks of nursing a calf. KT going to Chase. Can you call a spade and admit Chase Young got Mickey out of 51 mil? He's just Jadeveon Clowney 2.0. Just saying. Yeah, bro. We need a pass rush. We definitely need. Now, I don't know. We have a couple of days before we get the Wednesday report. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was before the Seattle game. What? No. It was before the Buffalo game. It was before the Buffalo game where we were told that Chase Young is coming back soon, or they used the term soon, quotation soon, end quote, so, okay. I was like, soon. Okay. That was 2 weeks, 2 games ago. Where is Granderson now? I mean, I'm sorry, not Granderson, Chase Young, because Curl out there busting his ass. Curl got 4.5 right now. Should have been 5.5 and leading the league. But yeah, Chase Young is the calf issue was said. Kellen was on some DA type stuff. He was like, hey man, it ain't nothing to worry about. But the guy done missed all this time. I mean, we're going into week number 6. Hell, Taysom Hill and Foster Moreau came back, and Chase Young is still unavailable. Yeah, that right now that 51 ain't looking too good, bro. That 51 ain't looking too good. We really need Chase Young to be active for this game against the New England Patriots. We could utilize his pass rush. We really need that extra pass rush. So, KT, you ain't saying nothing wrong, bro, to be honest with you. What's up, Jamaica? Shout out to Jamaica. All right. What's up, Brent? Shout out to Brent. He says, with some garlic and onion. Yeah. Yeah. You talk about, Justin. Yeah, Justin Wilson. Yeah, I guarantee you. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you.
I'm trying to say thank you. Come on now, dog. Come on, man.
The problem is you trying to talk with your shit and you don't know nothing instead of listening. Huh?
I'm listening.
Okay? No. I get $40,000, man, and I dare motherfucker to.
All right, shout out to you, Brent, man. Thank you for that, man. Much love. Yeah, man, we got some stuff, man, that's going on, but it's very positive, man, for the Who Dat Nation, man. So yeah, Chase Young is I don't know what's going on, fam. The soon thing was thrown at us. We'll see where that ends up going as we get closer and closer. I'm very interested to look at that Wednesday report to see if Chase Young is active and practicing and not DMP'd again. Because you could have put his ass on. I mean, you could have literally put him on the IR. You could have placed him on IR and literally opened up a spot and found. But it'd be 6 weeks. 6 weeks since that guy did anything. 6 weeks. That's crazy that this guy I'm like, what kind of calf is this that keeps you out? You know, listen, fam. He's no practicing with it. He's not allowed to practice with this calf issue, but they're telling us it's nothing. How you have a calf issue? How you had that going on? How you got a calf issue that ain't no big problem, but you won't let him practice, and he been DMP'd for going on 6 weeks now? I don't know. $51 million for a guy that ain't seen nothing in the regular season, and you need a pass rush bad. You know, so yeah, it would. I guess it wouldn't be so bad if we were, you know, in this situation where we need that help right away. But yeah, Rumpf the second ain't doing. Cam is doing the best that he can do. But yeah, Chase Young got the money. Chase is the guy that's supposed to be representing opposite of Carl Granderson. It's supposed to be that tandem. But man, yeah, I got to give it to you, fam. You KT's right on the money, man. KT's right. Yeah, he's right. He also says, is he who he is? You'll do it for Caesar salad, but you acknowledge it for. Yeah, now I'm saying I just said it, KT. I'm just saying I gave it to you, KT. I says, listen, you're right on it. The $51 million is not looking good, and yeah, for Chase Young, but Chase Young his stuff was a lot more positive last year than what we've seen from Cesar Ruiz. I've been talking about Cesar Ruiz. It's not hard to tell. People have not been paying attention to Cesar Ruiz because they were looking at Penning. And Penning was so bad he made Cesar Ruiz look good, but Penning improved to a point where it's Cesar you're looking at now. But I've been saying that about. I'm not like Cesar Ruiz he ain't good. You'll see him do some positive stuff, but he is woefully inconsistent with his technique. You know, I'm like, how's this guy? And it's only so long you can sit up here and play like you don't see him on that film, Coach Moore. You don't see him now because Torrey Simpkins is out there. Simpkins is going to keep you honest. He's going to keep you honest. All right. Ray Lynn Man says, if the mainstream media glazes Drake May and questions the Saints D the same way they glaze Jason Dart, we win off a coincidence. Hey, yeah, man. You know what, man? You talk about the commentators, man. Bro, it's a love fest. It's like the Saints are not going to win. We're that bad. At the Giants, man, I ain't want to bring the Giants man back. Man, I don't want the man. You know, he suffered enough watching the Saints kick his team in the teeth and have them to have 5 straight fumbles. You know, New Yorkers, man, they're real sensitive about that stuff. Yeah, I would be a gentleman about it. Yeah, I'll just take the win. You know, the loss hit him harder than anything any one of you could tell him. Hey, I just say, hey, man, y'all seen I played it cool. I just say, hey, man, you know, the Giants they're more talented than I'm saying. No, I'm like, no, they're not. No, you're not. You're not more talented here. You got 2 rookie players at key positions. Yeah, even though Jackson is very talented, we know Jackson Dart for Ole Miss. I knew how good the guy is. He's going to be good for them in the future. I know about scouted Cam Scatterbo. KT, you know about Scatterbo. We talked about him. He's one of our favorite young running backs among the other ones coming out of there. So we knew what Scatterbo and Jackson Dart was about. But they're still inexperienced players. Spencer Rattler been in the league a whole year. That has to get and start. He started several games. That has to count for something. And he has actually been doing a very above decent. You got to give him. He's been doing a good job. We have to get upfield. And I got a concern. Let me share this with y'all, man. I got a concern. Like I said, toward the back, and people like they just, people start just like Q. We got the W. I get it. People's like, put W in the chat because Q don't see it. It just put everybody just start putting win in the chat. Hey, that's how y'all do me. That's how I'm talking some real shit out here. I got some real concerns and ain't nobody wanted to hear it. And I'm trying to tell people, hey fam, at the back of the game, but people so wind starved that they didn't want to hear that. Man, I'm on the broadcast Sunday, the Saints game, and at the back end of the game, man, I'm saying, hold on here, man. Oh man, y'all see this here? And I started telling about them because they started mixing. Because Taysom Hill came in there, right? He threw the pass for 9 yards, 19 yards, whatever it was to Juwan Johnson. It was kind of low. Juwan had to go down to get it to make the catch. But then you started to see on the back end that Coach Moore started to run Taysom in there, in the game and cycle Spencer Rattler out the game. And then it was a point where Spencer was went in the game and then he did this with his hands. He's like, what we doing? What we doing? So now I was like, what's going on here? And they started really cycling Taysom in to do all this other stuff. I'm like, damn, Taysom just came back. What do we? But I was like, I had this concern. I was like, right now, oh man, he about to start jacking stuff up. We can't. If I don't want to use Taysom Hill as a quarterback. I mean, like that. Taysom's so talented. We don't have to use him as a quarterback because I don't want to jack up the chemistry that Spencer Rattler is having with his offense. I don't want to jack that up. I didn't want to jack it up. I was like, hey man, use Taysom in harmony with Spencer. Make him a tight end, make him a wide receiver, make him a running back, this sort of thing. But don't pull Spencer out to put Taysom in. Spencer out to put Taysom Hill in as a quarterback is what I'm saying this early. I don't want to mess up all of the weeks of them with all of the losses and the chemistry that they were supposed to be building on to be sacrificed or messed with because, you moving the quarterback in and out of the game. I did not want to see that. And then when I started saying that, they ain't won't hear that shit. And I told her, I said, hey, y'all ass, don't be telling, I don't want to hear it next week. They'll be saying the same damn thing to me. Well, goddamn Q, why they doing this? Well, I said, hey man, I try to tell y'all, man. Y'all, people were so wind starved. They were like, Q, I don't give a damn. We gotta win. Oh, okay. All right, goddamn it. All right, you got it then. There you go. Hey, you won't hear that shit, man. I said, okay. It's all good, fam. Y'all got it. KT says, Q, that sounds like Achilles more than a calf. Remember, that's what happened with Kevin Durant. It says, yeah. Oh man, please no. But it's been 6 weeks, so we got to do something. Derek says Penning was out of position. That's true, Derek. He says Penning was out of position. Ruiz out of position too. Q, he really a center play. Nah, bro, you can't say that about him now, bro. No, brother Derek. How long that was what? They drafted him 6 years ago. How old is Cesar Ruiz? How long has he been in the league? About 5 or 6 years? He's 26 years old. He was drafted what? In 2020. He's been in the league for 5 years. Okay, so yeah, he's been in the league for 5 years already. So he was a 24th overall pick out of Michigan back in 2020. Cesar Ruiz. The first year, yes, indeed. The first or even the second year, you could say that. But the Saints did not switch him consistently between two positions. They did not cross-train Cesar Ruiz. They didn't do that. They made Cesar Ruiz a guard. And I often wondered why they didn't cross train and allow him to play center. I thought he would probably be a better center than he is a guard. But that was some time ago. The first couple of years you give him grace. But we into what? Year 5 of him with all of the reps at the guard position. He's not no center anymore. He's a bona fide guard now. I mean, he got all the reps and all the stuff. So that's what I'm saying, man. But there's no excuse for bad technique. You know, I wish Trevor Penning had as many reps as Cesar Ruiz. I wish Trevor Penning had as many reps and games experience as Cesar Ruiz has. I wish. Because I think Penning would probably be I know Penning would be further along if that was the case. L-Dub says, that's why I turned down the volume and let you commentate. Yes, as the man says, the Glaze Fest, when you listen to all of them talk about it, they're going to do it again. They just act like the Saints don't have any players. Brian says Chase has a different type of calf injury. That's why he's out so long. Nobody thought the injury was this bad. Well, the coach said that he'll be back soon. But I ask you, who knows more about the player than the coach? Because the coach has access to the player's medicals. They got access to all the medicals. The doctors know exactly how long the time frame will be for this type of injury. They have all the information. They could play dumb with us, you know, but they got a medical staff in there. They know exactly what's wrong with it. If they got a player that's hurt, they know exactly what's wrong with them. They have timelines, all that stuff already, but it's just how they want to handle it to you and tell you, because they know that if they tell you the truth about Chase Young, they're going to get bad press because of the money that they paid him. So they underselling this stuff, not to make a certain individual who likes to chew and smack damn gum look bad. See how that PR work? Like, man, don't say nothing about it. Just say coming back soon. 2 weeks ago. For a calf issue that was what Kellen said wasn't bad. Nothing to be concerned about. So, I mean, you know how it goes. All right. Derek says Spencer with a nice catch back and throwaway. Yeah. 546Q, this is really our first win. Yeah, it's it. That's right. Yeah. And the craze, like I said, I was thinking about it too. I went and looked it up. And even the article I just talked about said the same thing, that the last time the Saints won a game was last year against the Giants, the same team they won yesterday against. I think that's really funny. You know, the last team we beat last year was the Giants. I think we beat them 14-11 or something like that last week. Wasn't that the game where Derek Carr jumped up and and tackled the concrete with his face? Wasn't that the game when he got hurt? Hold on, let me see. Y'all remind me in the chat. Wasn't the Giants game when Derek Carr got hurt? When he went face first into the turf? I want to say that. Was that the same game? Did he get hurt against the Giants last week? Last year. Was that the same game? Yeah, that was. I want to. What wasn't that the same one? I don't know. Y'all remind me. I don't know. It might not be the same one. Was that the same one with Carr? The Carr got hurt. Wasn't it that the game he jumped over? I want to say it was the Giants. Wasn't it the Giants game? Yeah, it was the Giants game. Yeah. Yeah, because I remember. Yep, it was the Giants. Yeah. Yeah, it is right here. I was like, man, wasn't that the Giants? Yeah, look, see? Yeah, there you go. He tried to jump over his player. Y'all remember, and went right into the ground like that? Yeah. Yeah, that was it. But that was the game that the last time the Saints won a game was against the Giants last year, and then we beat them yesterday. That is really crazy. That's fun. That is wild and wacky. All right. Derek says, I made 32 last time we won. We won 33 a month away from me. Okay. Thank you, bro. Shout out. Happy birthday to you, bro. All right. Pops TG says, my thing is I don't pull our starting 3 wide receivers out to run the ball with Taysom every time, telegraphing the play. That's what the Giants, that's what the guest we had Saturday who represented the Giants, he said, man, I'm with Taysom Hill come out there. We just know that Taysom's going to get the ball. We just pay attention to him. I was like, yeah, it's pretty much because it's pretty simple. If you think about it, if Taysom's out, he's going to get the ball. But the other thing is you got to tackle him, because everybody know, like when we put Taysom Hill on some of those plays, the majority of the time he's running into a stacked box in some kind of way. He still gets a first down and 3 or 4 yards some kind of way. So knowing what he's going to do and is one thing versus stopping him, so it was kind of weird at the end of the game. So I just hope what I said about him pulling Spencer in and out of the game with Taysom won't disrupt the offense. I hope not, man. Brent says Taysom should be tight end with other options. I agree 100%. Appreciate you, Brent. Thank you, man. All right, Justin says, my main concern is how long is KM going to stay with Group A at kicker? Eventually, you got to remove the C off his chest and cut your losses. Yeah, that's a good question, bro. Good comment, by the way. He's missed 5 kicks so far. He's 10 of 15 right now. It has to be a concern for you. But it is like, if you think about it, the way the coaches could be looking at is the fact that he's looking at the entire unit is struggling, right? That could be a thing too. Like it's not like everybody else is doing good. And he's the sore guy. He's the other guy out there that's just looking like, he looks stink, the whole special team side of things looks stink right now. The coverage units look stink. The kick return units look stink. The punt return units are not all that. We can't, flip the field. We can't do anything to help us right there. The punting is probably the better of the things we got going, even though Kai had that awful punt in the fourth quarter. But outside of it, he's been actually pretty respectable. But yeah, 10 to 15 through 5 weeks. You missed 5 field goals in 5 weeks is not a good thing. And like I said, he's not kicking 50. He had the 50-yarder, but he's not. Some of these ones that he's missed were ones that he could have hit. He's an NFL kicker. I expect what would be respectable to you guys if he kicked 15 kicks. How many kicks should you would grant him to have missed at this point, like through 5 games? Like 3 kicks? Would that be enough? You put it in the chat. Let me know what would be sufficient for you. Not saying the guy got to be 15 for 15, but to you with 15, attempts, how many of the 15 that you would feel would be respectable? 5 is too much. I say 3. I would say at least 3 missed field goals. What do you guys say? Put it in the chat. I'll spotlight it. L-Dub says, I remember you saying that, Q. I was wondering why Moore was doing that. I'm shocked the reporters didn't ask him about it during the presser. I think they was just letting him have his moment. But I'm saying at the end of the day, man, I was saying it, and it wasn't like I was saying something and I was like, oh, that'll be all. When I seen it, I was like, oh, because it presents another problem that I didn't anticipate. I didn't see Kellen Moore attempting to use Taysom Hill as a fill-in quarterback for Spencer Rattler, meaning pulling him out of the game. No, I'm against that. I'm against you pulling Spencer Rattler out of the game. Why? Because Spencer Rattler has to stay in there as the starting quarterback so he can continue to have the momentum, not just the momentum, but the chemistry, the synergy that he needs with these guys. We still need to build on that chemistry, and pulling him in and out of the game sacrifices that. They're not I don't want to say they're not intelligent enough to do it, but they're not talented enough to do that. Insofar as like knowing, we could do it and we can bounce back and forth between two and have the success. They're not nowhere near that. So whatever you have Taysom Hill doing, it has to be in help, or it has to be in harmony with Spencer Rattler. Meaning I don't pull Spencer out. If I want Taysom Hill to be in there to be a running back, let him be a damn running back. I'm for, and then of course the thing about it is, if I need 1 yard, snapping the ball 5 yards back to get 1 yard, I've been against that. If we're gonna do the damn thing, just line him up as a fullback. It ain't like we didn't see Taysom play fullback before. He played fullback, tight end, wide receiver. You know, occasionally you can have him to throw the ball, like with Taysom. You know, you see the play where you just snap the ball, he throws it to Taysom. Taysom pretends like he's going to run around the edge and then pulls up and throw the ball down the damn field to the wide receiver. Yeah, I'm for that. But we're not nowhere near the synergy that we need to be for you to be bouncing Taysom and Spencer back and forth. I try to warn people about that during the game. I was like, man, because if you remember the play, we were so happy with the win. I'm telling y'all on the back end of that game that the offense looked totally discombobulated. They couldn't even do nothing. They totally, talking about somebody going backwards. You know, they literally died on the back of that game. We were looking at the defense and we were psyched up on the momentum of the defense, the 5 turnovers, the return for a touchdown, all this kind of stuff. But the offense, man, outside of the 87-yarder that they gave with Rashid Shaheed toward the back of the game, they literally just died. You know, and I was like, man, I don't like it. But, but my thing is I can enjoy the win and still be able to, in my head, like a coach looking ahead saying, hey, man, we got to do something about that, because that'll kind of hurt us in the next week. Like, I can celebrate the win, but still understand we got to fix this if we're gonna get another one next week. That sort of thing, right? All right, yeah. I just let y'all know what I see. You know, that's all I could do. All right. Anyway, big ups to y'all, man. What's up, Rudy? Shout out to Rudy, man. Good to see you in the chat, man. All right. Anyway, man, let me get rid of Kate. What's up, JT? JT. Says these players have their contracts written a certain way after the injuries. I don't know if that's on. I don't know if it's on Chase. Because remember, Chase stayed. His thing was last year. They didn't trust him last year, but he played last year, got the money, and then bam, miss 5 weeks. And we need him. We need Chase Young. There's no other pass rusher that we have currently on the team that is more impactful than Chase Young. I mean, he's got the money. He's got to be the guy that works opposite of Curl. Curl needs help. And, we see Cam out there doing everything he could do. But Cam is similar to DeMario Davis. You see Cam running around, athletic quarterbacks just run right away from him like they got a jetpack. He's trying. Cam is trying to get there. He's just not. He's not that guy anymore. Cam is not that guy. He's a lot older than I. That's the thing about having older players. They're smart, but sometimes they don't get home. You need the athlete there. We need the athlete. All right, there we go. All right. What's up, Sean? Shout out to Sean. Said the league average field percentage is about 85%. I expect Group A to make at least 12 out of 15. Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. And a lot of family members believe. Derek says 3. I say 3, bro. I would say 3. Slim he's a little more on it. He says 2. So does L Dub and Saint Doug. They believe 2. Derek says 12 or 15. 12 or 15 would be so it'll be 3 that he would at this point be missing 3 of them. But 5 field goals, that averages out as 1 a week. That is far too much. And at some point, if he keeps doing that, man, listen, you might have to do something. And like I said, bro, remember they had Young Wei Koo. Young Wei Koo is a hell of a kicker, but the Falcons did not play with him. This guy kicked them into win after win after win. But boy, when he started missing them field goals, they forgot about all that shit. All that matter. They on that Janet Jackson shit. Whatever you done for me lately. That's what they did. That what they own over there. And we own that too. The entire NFL is on that too. So he can't be, man, listen, ain't no more missing no field goals and all this kind of stuff. You gotta have to look at him and be like, yo, bro, listen. Even if you won't scare him a little bit. Even if if I'm Kellen Moore, you miss another field goal or 2 more or 1 more or whatever. I'm bringing in a kicker. Like I would have said last week or the week before that when he missed him, I would have brung in somebody to try out. I would have tried out 2 or 3 kickers. you know. And of course, the Saints do have Charlie Smith on the practice squad. They have that kicker there. They of course, they can go to him if they want to. But even if you're doing a tryout, I would have brought in a couple of kickers to kick psychologically, just to be like, oh shit, I got to get this straight. I better get out here and make it happen. They're looking at kickers just to get that going. You see, that's a part of that accountability thing. You don't have to say nothing to the kicker because you can't. You're not even, you have to encourage the kickers because a lot of this stuff is mental. You don't go up there and say, man, what the hell wrong with you? Get your, you know, this kind of thing. You know, you can't go at them like that. You gotta get them. You see, you can't go and cuss at them and finger wag at them like Rizzy did that other guy last when he cussed at that guy. You got to baby the punters and baby the kickers. That's how they deal with it. You can't fuss and cuss at the kicker and the punter. Their game is up here. But what you could do is bring in some kickers to try out. That's how you do that shit. You got to play the game. You got to bring. We got 3 kickers in here. Trey got Young Wei Koo up in here. He up in here kicking, trying out. We got this other guy here. You know, we trying out John Carney. He out there kicking. You're probably not gonna sign none of them, but they out there trying out. That's how you get them. At some point, you got to do that, man. At some point, if you keep missing them, that's too many, man. All right, KT says, Q, all Chase Young does is get pressures, but he's never been a double-digit sack guy. You're right, KT. Historically speaking, you're correct. And depending on when he comes back this year, you might be right about that again. You know, there's still a lot of football left. You know, like I said, man, it's not looking good right now. You know, it's not looking good right now because we need whatever production he can bring. And even if he's healthy enough to go, you know, this week, do they handle him with kid gloves? You know, you don't want him to let him go full, all this kind of stuff, because we simply not getting the pass rush. Chris Frump or whoever we want to throw that cam, we're not getting the rush that we need, right? So at some point, we got to do something about it, right? We got to. We got to do something about it. L-Dub says it was a curse for the Saints. They got in the Young Wei Koo. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. When the Falcons put him in the street, then that should put like Group A's like, man, this dude here is like 3 times better than me. And they didn't play around with him. When you start missing those field goals, man, especially if you're missing field goals that decide the fate of the game. See, we haven't quite gotten there yet, right? We have not quite gotten there yet because we've seen the Chris Olave drop. We've seen the Jawan Johnson touchdown drops, right? But we haven't quite gotten there yet where you see a Blake Group A missed field goal that can ultimately decide the fate of the game. We haven't got there yet. We haven't gotten there yet. So we're going to see, man. I think he's going to be patient with them. But, boy, I'll tell you, you keep missing them field goals, you're going to find yourself unemployed real quick. It's one of them positions that you won't be up there for long if you're missing them damn field goals. I promise you that. All right. Anyway, fam, listen, I'm going to get ready to get out on that. Y'all do me a service, man. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Saints Monday after. The first win of the season, man. We within that celebratory period in which we are basking in the glow of being 1-4. How that sound? 1-4. I know it sounds a little strange, but it don't sound stranger than 0-5. How about that shit? I know 0-5. Could you imagine what this Monday would have been feeling like for you? You know, somebody pissed you off. The Red Beans, they be wearing a Red Beans hat right now. You know, this kind of thing. But you're 1-4, which means it's time to build forward. The Saints got the Patriots coming in. We got to keep on moving ahead, man, and keep fixing this stuff and putting wins together and stacking and stacking and stacking. Win and learn. That's the thing. All right. Anyway, man, I'm going to get on out of here. I'll be back tomorrow for our Patreon family members. Going to do some film work on the Giants, Saints and Giants Week 5 matchup. We'll cover all the latest news and notes. And, man, listen, yeah, I heard about a lot of the trade stuff that they're hearing about the Alvin Kamara and all this kind of stuff. That's something that you regularly hear when teams are 0-5, 0-4, this type of thing, because, you know, they start kind of selling out the pieces and seeing if they can get this, that, and the third. But the Saints putting together wins, man, that kind of stave off a lot of that trade talk. It kind of gets it away. So we just got to keep stacking them. We have the next 3 games is actually, I ain't gonna say they're winnable games because the Patriots are actually playing some respectable football. But the Saints have, if they can do what they've been doing, man, fighting in that offense some kind of way, finds a way to incorporate Taysom Hill where it doesn't take Spencer out of it, then we can be able to kind of be more balanced, man. I think we can do that because you have Taysom there and Foster Moreau, not to mention him coming back. That improves our tight end room. We have experience there, but we have a guy like Taysom when he can move around in junction with Kendre Miller and Elvin and the rest of our weapons, man. We doing all right. We just got to keep on moving and grooving, baby. Yeah, the Ravens 1-4 too. Yeah, but hey, man, they all bang the hell, man. I would rather my 1-4 Saints to be the 1-4 Ravens. The Ravens beat up the hell. Lamar ain't there. They got like 8 or 9 people that means something to that team that's missing, man. The Saints are healthy. Fam, listen, we're healthy. We got our quarterback, our wide receivers are healthy, our running backs are healthy. We might have a few people hurting, like we got Cesar Ruiz, but the backup's better than him. We got that going on. We got a little struggling in our special teams, but we can eventually fix that. We got a little something going on with our defense. We got a lot of young people that are stepping up. So we knew that was going to happen anyway, didn't we? With that, some of those guys. But in the end, I'm saying that we're in a lot better shape than some of these other people. These other people are beat the hell up. So I'm really happy we are, in terms of our health, is pretty good. We are all right. We just need to keep, putting together some solid efforts and, handling our business, man, and keep that health there. And yeah, man, it's just, I'd rather be the Saints 1-4 than the Ravens 1-4 any day, man. They are banged up pretty bad. All right, I'm up out of here, fam. I appreciate y'all. If you want to see us on tomorrow, please feel free to look at the chat, patreon.com/the Pro Media Network, or become a member of the channel to be able to see the film work tomorrow and whatever the Saints are covering. We'll talk about it more on that flip side. And y'all be safe, and I'm going to holler at y'all tomorrow for Patreon and Wednesday for the other families. Much love. Peace. Who that to you?
Yeah. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Long as I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. Sports Coma, yeah, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like Benson, I'm a who that. I'm a who that. Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that. Welcome. Somebody please better help. Running this thing like Elf. I thank God every day I'm not a felt. Go to YouTube Live with Big Q and the guys. If you ain't ride or die, the bandwagon get flipped. Been marching in, that was way for the ring. I was yelling out your shame for the championship. Bucking on town, duck down. Falcons, pluck, get shut down. Panthers ain't much touchdown. The vision really belong to us now. So much hate on the Saints, you could probably tell. Ever since Bounty Gate hit the NFL, when things seem fishy, then you probably smell the crooked referees on Roger Goodell. Yeah, running like this, and I'm a who that. Every day I'm living, I'm a who that. Lose or winning, I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that. Where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that, where we do that. Boogie like this, and I'm a who that. It's the Sports Coma, this is where we do that.
You're listening to the Sports Coma with Big Q and the guys on the PRO Media Network.
Who that say they gon' beat them Saints? Who
WhoThatDaily.com. That's right, the WhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who Dat and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, WhoThatDaily.com is your site. The WhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who Dat in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform continue to grow. Check out the Pro Shop and Who Dat.